Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to focus on two dimensions of communication. Every communicative behavior can be described in two ways. First, by the form, and then also by the function of the communication. So, once again, children engage in challenging behavior because it works for them, right? So, challenging behavior results in the child gaining access to something or someone. So, those are the obtaining or requesting behaviors, or avoiding someone or something. Those are the escaping and protesting behaviors. So, the form of behavior um, is what the behavior used to communicate, sorry, and the function of behavior is the reason or purpose behind that behavior. Positive behavior support is really based on the assumption that children's challenging behavior has some meaning to it. We have many, many forms of communication to express functions. So, for example, to express like being really unsatisfied with a face to face class where your professor is there, students might complain. They might find something else to do, things like, picking up their phone, checking Instagram, or other off task behaviors. They might leave the classroom entirely, or it might become too much to bear, and they might scream out, "Stop teaching!" I don't know. But all of these forms of communication tell you that they want to change the classroom content or escape. So, as children learn to communicate, they also communicate about lots and lots of different things. What are some of the first things that children communicate? When children first communicate, they may use different forms of communicative behavior. So, how do children first tell you no or "I want that"? I want. Or what about when they're 9 months old and they don't have any words? So, in communicative behavior, we can identify both the function of a communication, so whether it's a request, a protest, a comment, and also the form of that communication. So, is it a cry? Are they pointing? Are they using words? So we use something called the behavior equation to interpret what the function of communication is. So the behavior equation has three foundational parts, and you see them here on your screen. The first, the trigger, or sometimes we call it the antecedent. That is what sets off a behavior. Then there's the behavior, or what the child says and does. And then in the third column, there's the maintaining consequence, or the events that follow immediately after the behavior. And so from all of these things, we can figure out the function of the behavior. So what are they trying to communicate? So in this example of Joey, here's our trigger. Joey is asked to come to circle, and the teacher provides a physical prompt to move him into the group. Well, that triggers Joey to do something, and his behavior is that Joey resists and he cries, and then he hits the teacher. So, what's the maintaining consequence, or the event that follows the behavior? Well, the teacher moves away from Joey and then just allows Joey to select a different activity. So, if we're thinking about the function of his behavior, what is Joey trying to communicate to his teacher? And ultimately, this is an avoiding behavior, right? So, his resistance and cries and hitting the teacher, the challenging behavior, is trying to communicate something, and it's communicating his desire to avoid circle time or to remain where he is doing what he's doing.